and cooks as the leader, and I would give them my ideas. And I try to get them to agree with the vision, because I know then it'll change their actions, and in time it'll produce the culture, the vision that I had in mind the whole time.
Yeah, that's good.
And then that culture will either be life or death, and it will bring God glory.
Like Geico, for example.
That's right. That's right. So there's a lot of stuff in there. And again, that's called influence. We talked this morning about how our nation is designed for this process, the democratic republic that we are, but we have seen the Supreme Court come and do enforcement over several things involving the sanctity of life and marriage. And since they couldn't convince the majority, because if we had a vote on many of these issues, the majority would say no. Since that wasn't doable, they bypassed us through some judicial decisions and changed culture by enforcement. So, that's a whole other. That just shows the importance of leaders. How we should choose leaders.
Yeah, the importance of knowing the leaders and knowing what they're about.
Right. Amen. Awesome. Well, like I said, that's a whole other deal there, but that's on a massive scale. Hey, I meant to share this morning. This would have gone with that part, but this is really interesting. You can Google this. There's a guy named, I'll give you his name in case you do really want to Google it later. J.D. Unwin, U-N-W-I-N, U-N-W-I-N. He's a British anthropologist that lived in the 1920s, and so he studied 5,000 years worth of history. And he studied these cultures, these civilizations. And he would study a culture, and he saw that a pattern of the great civilizations like the Romans, the Babylonians, these different ones, that they had, when it came to family and marriage, they started out very strict, like one husband, one wife, the family unit that Christians value. Well, it doesn't mean they were all Christians, it just means they valued family. And they started out that way, and over time, their civilization would begin to thrive economically and with technology. Just because they didn't have the iPhone doesn't mean they didn't have technology. All kinds of technological advances. Then the pattern would get to where that civilization would start saying, well, let's be a little looser on adultery. Let's be a little looser on divorce. Let's be a little looser on pornography. Let's be a little looser on homosexuality. And all these things would slip. And as they finally began to lose that, that strict code of family, none of them flourished. Once that happened, none of them flourished for more than 3 generations.
Wow.
And you know how many times that happened? 86.
Wow.
86 times in history a civilization did that. It started out, and it says within 3 generations, once they let go of the God standards for family and marriage, that within 3 generations, either one, there was an uprising and they would fall apart, or 2, another group would come in and destroy them and take over. And guess what that group had? Strict rules on family.
Wow.
86 times.
Wow.
I think it's really scary for America and kind of arrogant to think that we would be different. That we can let these principles go, but we'll just continue to flourish. Amen?
Yeah.
Amen. Well, let's pray. Anybody? I want to pray over Hawkinsville and everybody here. Anybody have anything else?